Good afternoon, Mr. Michael Bryant, the Executive Director. Welcome back.
Good to be here. Thank you, Monsieur le Président. And I am here on behalf of the Canadian Civil Liberties Association. And our position on this bill is that it does indeed legalize the industry, but it recriminalizes the usage of cannabis for consumers. The bill lays out a minefield of criminality for ordinary Canadians. 30 grams, whatever that is, in a public place is a crime. 5 grams, whatever that is, for youth is a crime. The 18-year-old passing a joint to a 17-year-old is a crime punishable 14 years in prison. 5 plants, plus et moins, is a crime. 101 centimeter plant, that's a crime. The concern is that the concern is that people think that this substance is being legalized, and the reality, of course, is quite different. The search and seizure powers found in this law are very disturbing if you think that it's a legal product. There are police powers here to enter without a warrant in exigent circumstances. There are no exigent circumstances justifying kicking a door down in the middle of the night for possession of orchids, let alone Smirnoff. So there must be something about this particular product that is criminal. And that ends up being the circular point and the great circular problem with this law. The forfeiture powers are the same forfeiture of property powers that exist for money laundering and anti-terrorism legislation. But if you think that this is a legal product, obviously think again. The concern being that farms with, I guess, one too many plants may find that they are subject to seizure of the entirety of the property to the Crown and the agricultural equipment that goes with it. The Centre for Addiction and Mental Health provided an important credibility boost to the signature policy of the current government when they came out in favor of legalization. But in their report, they were quite clear that what was needed was health-focused regulation. This is crime-obsessed regulation, not health-focused regulation. Now, I understand you asked the Department of Justice to take the lead on a bill. This is what you're going to get. As the proud 35th Attorney General of Ontario, I know well the great strengths that Justice Ministries have. Major project management and health-related regulation is just not one of them. The economic opportunity that has been lauded by many may exist for some, but not for the 500,000 Canadians who have a criminal record today resulting from a simple cannabis charge. And we know, thanks to the John Howard Society and their report this year called Invisible Burden, that a criminal record is basically a lifetime bar against employment for all but the low-wage economy. And even then, I know many former clients when I was practicing criminal defense law who can't get a job because of that criminal record. So happy to take questions, but the provisions within here that are particularly problematic from the perspective of the CCLA are regarding search and seizure and regarding the forfeiture of property. I am particularly concerned that police, upon smelling cannabis on somebody, will then have reasonable and probable grounds to stop and search people. And whenever that whenever that arbitrary power arises as such, you get practices like racial carding, you get racialized communities, poor communities, you get addicts and people who live on and near the street getting treated differently than everybody else. You get the criminalization of a culture. This was supposed to be the legalization of a culture, right? It turns out that it's the legalization of an industry. Good news for the shareholders, not so much for the customers. And our advice to people is to wait. Wait until the regulations are promulgated. Wait until the provinces have all passed their legislation. Wait until those regulations are passed, because you're not going to want to find yourself unwittingly committing a crime. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.